And we are live with Inside the IFL. As always, I'm joined with Mr. Ed Ritter.
What it is?
Feels good to get a kind of an evening show going. What do you think?
Yeah, this is nice. I like this.
Yeah. So, what a day of games, huh?
Oh man, all of them, all of them were awesome. I was, excuse me, I, it was very cool to watch all those games.
Yeah. Uh, well, here's what I'll say about the games. Is take today's game. We just ended up Tokyo winning 41-10. Um, it was repeated over and over and over in that game. That defense is nasty. Got to find some offense. Tokyo is looking stronger each and every week. Big shout out to Alex Dar. I was suspect questionable of his skills. Other than a few moments here having to argue with mom, I think the kid did a pretty damn good job.
For all things considered, yeah, he didn't do too bad at all. I did, like I said, I did have to laugh with him shushing mom, and he shushed dad, and dad had to tell him about it. I got a kick out of that. I'm like, oh man, the first thing I thought when his dad came in, I was like, oh, he's going to shut him down, and then what are we going to
do? Yeah, I heard that, and I was like, oh shit.
I like,
but I don't want to forget. Got himself in trouble. And I don't want to forget to point out that Boston did lose their running back in this game. I personally am not a fan of the toss play. I don't mind my phone going off in the background. The toss play is not a fan of one of my favorite plays to begin with.
You're gonna be on the air here for a second by yourself. I gotta go see what my son needs. Right back.
I'll finish my thought while it steps away from me. I personally am a big fan of the toss. And then when you lose your star running back, and then bang, it is what it is. So it's just like wow, But kudos to Tokyo for doing what they did and getting the job done today. That's taking nothing away from them, obviously. Each week we get closer and closer to trying to figure out who is technically the best team. We have Alan Drum currently in the chat who says, in his opinion, Tokyo is the best team. If we take a look at Tokyo, they took on the Cobras in week 1 and lost. In week 2, Tokyo took on the Pack and won. In week 3, Tokyo played Tampa Bay Stallions and won. And this past week, they took on the Boston Liberty and won. To Alan's statement, they've defeated 2 1-3 teams. Just think that into considerations. 2 1-3 teams and a 2-2 team, and that 2-2 team almost lost to another team that's 1-3 in the flight. Just exactly how good are they? Remains to be seen. They, like I said, lost to the Cobras 33-31, beat the Pack 31-23. Then they came back and beat the Tampa Bay Stallions 41-24 before winning this game 41-10. Some people might think it's the Arizona Outlaws because they are the only undefeated team. They beat the 1-3 flight, so take that for what it's worth. They beat the 1-3 Boston Liberty. Take that for what it's worth. In 2 dominating fashion games. They also came back and beat those same Cobras. And then this week, they went out and got another victory over the Carolina Pack. So they kind of have mirroring schedules. Before this game, some people said it was Baltimore. Baltimore dropped a game this week to Tampa Bay just today, 33-24. So it's all going to be a matter of opinion.
All right, I'm back.
Yeah, I'm just touching on a comment made by Mr. Allen Drum. Mr. Allen Drum said in the chat that he feels that Tokyo is the number 1 team in the league, bar none. Okay. So I was just touching on.
Sorry, I had to help Dwayne get on Netflix because he could watch Lucha Underground.
Gotcha. Well, he just stated that Tokyo has won last 2 weeks in blowouts. Do you understand the blowout last week? you can take that with a grain of salt because Jax Diamond himself made it perfectly clear he had been experimenting for the first 3 weeks and that this week he was unexperimenting, and they got a victory over an undefeated Baltimore team. So what would have happened had he got rid of the experiment against Tokyo? I guess we'll find out in a few weeks when they have a rematch.
Right.
So if I put you on the spot, Ed, since touching on the comments here made by Mr. Drum, that he thinks Tokyo is the best team. If I asked you who is the best team currently in the IFL, who are you picking and why?
I'd have to say the undefeated Arizona Outlaws. And of course, everybody's going to go, "Oh, you're just picking them because they're undefeated."
Yeah.
No, I'm picking them because they're kicking everybody's ass. It may not be a lot. It may not be like blowouts, but they're 4-0. They've scored 126 points and only given up 66.
Yeah. Take today's game. They win 28-26. I want to emphasize the number 26, and here's why. They beat the Flight 37-13, and that 13 was 2 field goals and a touchdown in garbage time. They beat the Liberty 34-6. That 6 was 2 field goals. In the first 2 weeks, they gave up 1 touchdown, and it was late in the fourth quarter in garbage time. Week 3, they beat the Cobras 27-21 in a very good game by both teams. Today, 28-26. Why do I emphasize the number 26? Is because the 26 is the most points they've given up all season. And then, as you said, 66 points allowed all season. The next closest team is the Kitsune with 90. That's a hell of a gap.
Yep. I agree with you. So, like I said, they're not flashy like some other teams, but damn,
Definitely
they get the job done.
Definitely not. Yeah, and like I said, if you look at the standings, Baltimore and Tokyo have more points. Carolina Pack only has 5 less points than Arizona. So they're not putting up these big numbers like some of these teams, like especially Tokyo, because that's the team that was being discussed here. With they're the best as far as Allen's concerned. But boy, are they not letting you score. And that's the biggest key to me. Don't let a team score. You know, they always say the cliche is defenses win championships. Well, right now defenses put you 4-0. So, well, yeah, enough of all that. Let's touch on these games. We'll just kind of give some quick hitters on these games, and this is something that probably can avoid Monday when we get back on the air. But there's not much to say about the Tokyo-Boston game. I know you said Bo Davis, who's a personal friend of yours in the family, was very upset. I'm going to leave, and had to calm him down. But the defense, 5 interceptions, no offense, running toss central. It was turned into a let's take a shot drinking game in the chat. Losing the star running back. You know, they were doomed right then and there, obviously. And fact of the matter is, when you don't move the ball, I mean, Thomas Goodhart, with much colorful wording, was like, wow, just 5 yards. That's right. If you didn't hear me correctly, 5 yards was all Boston had at the half in total yards. When you hear that, and you know they don't have their star running back, 41-10 doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, not a whole lot you can do when you don't have your star running back.
That's crazy.
And I can tell you this from talking to Bo. Another thing that pissed him off was, everybody kept saying, "Why are they running? Why are they running? Why are they?" He has no control over that. None of the coaches have control over what that AI does.
Right.
And all these guys that jumped on it and say, "Oh, they shouldn't." You can say that all you want, but it's not going to happen.
Well,
because the AI is going to run whatever the hell the AI wants to run.
And we'll see what the AI is going to run next week, considering Boston made an announcement just moments ago that Marcus Bose, who happened to be the running back who got hurt today, has been named their offensive coordinator. So we'll see what happens there. So
that should be interesting.
I want to congratulate my son, and say good luck to Boston. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, good luck to them. Yeah.
Because
I know Bo had hit me up prior to this and said that him and Marcus had been talking, asked me what I thought. I said, you have no experience as an owner. I said, he has no experience as a coach. I said, why the hell not? Learn together. So, yeah.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with it.
I told him, so it can't get any worse.
Yeah. And Ramos Lynn has just renamed them the Boston Liberty.
Okay.
The Boston Liberty. So you got Bo and Bo.
Well, let me ask you a question.
What's that?
Your guy got hurt today. His guy got hurt today. What's the odds of relatives, father, son, getting hurt on the same day?
Blame the family cooking and the prostitute we shared last night. No, wait. I don't know.
I knew it. The dirty laundry comes out. Mm-hmm.
I didn't say that. Someone made me. It was just ignored. Moving on.
I heard nothing. I know nothing.
Yes, moving on. Okay. Arizona defeated Carolina today, 28-26, in a game that saw Carolina jump out to a 17-0 lead. At that point, I was sitting there thinking, Arizona's done. And I think they did too, because in the chat, I saw Mario Savage and Stevie T. Diggs making references that they thought it was over. And then, boom, Arizona comes back. 21 or 28 unanswered points before Carolina finally scored again. Had a shot at a 2-point conversion to make it a tie with under a minute to go. So that was a solid game by both teams. I mean, if you look at the stats after the game, which I don't happen to have them at my disposal, they were very similar in a lot of aspects. But great game by both teams. And like you said earlier when we were talking about the best team, Arizona was not flashy, but they did exactly what they needed to do and did enough today to say, you know what? We ain't losing, and we ain't losing right now. And they did what they needed to do to get that win.
I agree.
These guys, man.
Both teams played hard, gave it everything they could give, and Arizona just happened to come out on top.
It was a fun game. Yeah, but when they were up 17-0, what was going through your head?
I was kind of shocked at first. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, here we go. I was starting to get a little, I don't know if it was a little cocky, maybe a little overconfident. I'm like, yeah, we got this. And then, hell broke loose. I'm like, oh, shit. But what's great is if you go back and look at the game, they only got us on a few long plays.
Yes. There was a big bomb.
Other than that,
big bomb to Balboa.
Our defense was shutting them down.
Big bomb to Balboa, and then Hootie Coo came back with another big play. And, yeah. But at the end of the day, you got to stop the big plays just like you do the short ones. So,
unfortunately. And it happens. It happens. You get those big plays, and you're like, oh, crap. But
yep.
Other than that, it was a hell of a game, both sides. It was a damn good game.
Yeah, it was fun to watch, entertaining, and I really think come week, I'd have to double check the week, but when these two have a rematch, we'll really see what happens, because I think there'll be two different teams come then.
Yeah, you're probably right.
All right. The other game, there was a lot of trash talking in this game leading up, and there was even a guarantee that was made by the owner, and the guarantee happened, and that is the Stallions, who came into the game winless, gets their first victory of the season over what was the then undefeated Baltimore Bulls, as the Stallions pull off a 33-24 stunner today.
Well, all I can say is Jack's told everybody. For 3 weeks, I experimented. I tried to do this, that. He says, no more. Now we get to work. Well, he proved it. He went out and he proved it.
Indeed. It was just I was impressed. I was highly impressed with that team today. And even TJ, who owns Baltimore, was like, how is this team winless? I mean, he was shocked by the way they were playing and how they hadn't won yet. And, and I can't touch on Jax's own statements that he had made in Slack. He was experimenting. And I'm going to put you on blast right now, Jax. You're a fool. Because if you can beat a guy like TJ and a guy like Mighty like that today, what were you thinking? Why didn't you just get to work to begin with? That's all I can say. I think you can echo that.
Oh, I'm not. I'm going to agree with that. But at the same time, you got to give him props for saying, screw it. It's a long season. Let's try something for a couple weeks. He was messing around, didn't like it. Obviously, he, went to the lab, as a lot of guys say, and worked out his offense that he wanted, found it, and you see what happened.
Yeah. That's the only way we can word that. But yeah, I was impressed with that victory today. I thought that was a solid win by that team. Well done. They really utilized the tight ends this week more than ever. The fullback came in clutch yet again for them. I'll be touching on the fullback here in a few minutes, but it was just like good grief. So, all right, and then what was the game of the week? The one that a lot of trash talk took place on Slack as the hype between the old school rivalry, if you will, between New York and Philadelphia as the Cobras visited Philly to take on the Flight in a game that ended 28-24 in favor of the Cobras. After the game, Flight owner Chris Davis was like very adamant that they should have won the game, that they gave it away. Some people were saying, "What are you thinking? No way." That Cobras, they turned the ball over one too many times. Had they not, they would have dominated the game. So you should have never even deserved a victory. So there was difference of opinions. What is your thought on that particular game?
I can see both sides.
Right.
I can see where people say if they wouldn't have done this, they dominated. I can see where, Chris is coming from. I see both sides of the coin. Mm-hmm. But, it ultimately comes down to New York won and Philly didn't. Simple as that. This, you go all day long. You can say, if we'd have done this, we'd have done that. He could have did this. Kind of. You can say that till you're blue in your face. But it all comes down to this. They won, you didn't. Right. Simple. Simple as that. Just like I'm going to say, between, in a Carolina game today. We lost, they won. It is what it is.
Yeah, definitely is what it is. Definitely is. I'm trying to double check a number here and make sure I have it right before I say something. I believe it's 4 is the number I'm looking at. Yes, 4. 4, ladies and gentlemen. The number 4. Do you have any idea what the number 4 is?
I have no idea.
Okay, I will explain. The number 4 is Tokyo defeated Carolina. That's 1. Okay. Tokyo defeated Carolina is 1. Tokyo defeated Tampa Bay. That's 2. Arizona defeated New York. That's 3. Baltimore defeated Boston. That's 4. And I was wrong. The number is actually 5. And that is New York beat the Flight. That gives you 5. That 5 is how many times the home team has lost this season. In 4 weeks, 5 times the home team came up short. So the home team is 11-5 thus far in the IFL.
Damn.
That's something.
That's nuts.
Yeah, that's something to think about now as we go into week 5. And I'll touch on those games here in a minute. We'll see if the 4 home teams have the advantage. But before I do, as I mentioned, I wanted to touch on the Tampa Bay Stallions fullback Johnny Frost. A little bit ago, I could have announced this before the game, but I didn't want to take away from the game. Wanted to wait, and I'm announcing it here on the air, and I'll be posting about it on Slack here in just a minute. But a little earlier today, the Tampa Bay Stallions were in discussions with the Philadelphia Flight, and a trade has taken place. The Philadelphia Flight have acquired fullback Johnny Frost in exchange for outside linebacker Ricky White.
Very interesting.
So,
Very, very interesting.
and I think it was Thomas W. Goodhart who made the statement of he finds it funny that the team known as the Flight live and die by a ground pound running, which is freaking hilarious. I agree with him. It's funny. They now add a fullback. By adding the fullback, is that just the missing piece to that ground and pound offense? I guess we're going to find out next week. So, Tokyo, you get them next. Now you got to understand they're losing that outside linebacker in the fullback. So make sure you prepare your playbooks accordingly. And then Tampa Bay, they're having their game next week, and they're playing at Carolina. So Carolina, they're going to be. This is for you. They're now not using that fullback. As the defensive coordinator, you don't have to worry about it. But Alan Drum
wasn't worried about it to begin with.
Alan Drum, who's doing the offense, he now has to concern himself with a silver linebacker, something Tampa Bay hasn't had all season.
That's true.
And what's sad is, how could you prepare for a silver linebacker on a team you don't know what they're going to do with it? How do you prepare for a silver fullback on a team when they haven't had it all year, and what are they going to do with it? So Tokyo and Carolina, they got to figure that out.
Yes, they do.
And speaking of trades, this is week 4 that just ended. The trade deadline is halfway through the season, I believe is what we said. So
right.
Up to week 7, you can make moves. So this is the first trade in IFL history. That's a very interesting trade. I do want to touch on this before people look and see. It was discussed with the staff. When I say staff, that means minus Chris Davis because he was involved in the trade. But when you look at the cap situation, Ricky White is a $9 million player, and the Flight have spent 119 of their 120 million. And Johnny Frost is a $12 million player, and they spent 120 of 120 million. Now with the trade, it will actually put the Flight over cap by $2 million. So it was agreed to by the staff that in this trade, the Flight would have to relinquish one ability on Mr. Frost. So of the 4 abilities that's on him at silver, they will pick one of those to remove from him. And the flip side of that is the Stallions may add an ability to Ricky White upon acquiring him. The staff said that makes sense. It's only fair because that was the original money build. Allow them to make that move. There's no flopping of tiers. There's no moving pieces. It's just setting the cap right back to where it was. It's just a different player in that spot.
Yep. Hold on for just a second.
I saw Chisholm said, okay, that was my question.
I think it's
Did I miss something?
Wow. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Wow. Alan, confident shit. Alan just said he's glad Tampa Bay won because had they not, he might not have prepared for next week. That's true. And Alan, you're right. The first trade was Stenzo Woods for Malcolm Smith, and that was before the season started. That's why I totally forgot all about it. Yeah, Malcolm Smith has been a beast for Carolina, too. I know that. So, yeah, we've now had the second trade. Anyway, let's get into week 5. I want to get into week 5, throw these games out there so people can be aware of what's happening, who's playing who, what the situations are, and we can see if these home teams can continue this winning tradition here in the IFL. What do you think?
Yep.
And I'm going to be, and gentlemen, as soon as we go off the air, if I can get to it while we're on the air, I'm going to be going in and posting the pick'em, and I'm going to be posting the game of the week, so you can vote on those things and what have you. All right, so we'll touch on the fact that Alan just said he's glad they won. You got the 1-3 Tampa Bay Stallions coming off a victory. They travel to Carolina, who's also 1-3. So both teams come in 1-3. And I'll touch on this. It's 121 points scored for Carolina and only 71 for Tampa Bay. That's a gap. But Tampa Bay has given up 98 points, and Carolina's given up a league-leading 128 points. So you got the league-leading defense in giving up points, a category you don't want. You're the defensive coordinator, and in comes Tampa Bay, a team that has stopped experimenting, clearly showed they have offense by putting up 33 points today against Baltimore. taking off your defensive coordinator hat, putting on your journalist hat. Compare the,
Nope.
look at this.
Nope.
You have no choice.
Oh, yes, I do. I don't have to.
Welcome to Inside the IFL, where you're a journalist.
No, I don't have to do it.
We're not entering the Carolina locker room right now. God damn it. Yes, but
I'm not doing it.
With Tampa Bay coming into this game with 33 points on the board against Baltimore.
It's impressive. I'm not going to lie. That's impressive.
We'll let you put your defensive coordinator hat on. How do you prepare for a team that's, I guess, shown what they really are for the first time? I mean, is that a fair statement? I have no idea because I'm guessing. To me, there's no way they installed their playbook in 1 week. Are they making?
I mean, this could just be partially of what they've done. So, just got to kind of look, see what they've done, see where your defense is, see if you need to make any changes. If I need to, I will. If I don't, I won't. I'm not going to sweat it.
And I'm not giving away any playbook moves by Tampa Bay, obviously, with this statement. If you watch Tampa Bay today and all season, they've done what? Fullback dive and fullback sweeps. Clearly, all those plays will be coming out of the playbook, you would assume, since Frost has been traded.
You would think.
My
just if they don't take that out, they don't have him there. That's just kind of dumb. But
right.
I'm giving Jax all the credit in the world. I think he's smarter than that. I'm sure he's already saying, "Oh, that's gone, that's gone, this gone, that's gone, that's gone. Let's do this, let's do that." I'm sure he's doing his homework, just like Al and I are going to do our homework. But I don't sweat it. I don't.
So my thing is,
I just don't.
About it. Will he just remove those plays, or will he remove them and add something else? That's the big.
He could. He could. If he does, so be it. If he don't, so be it too. Whatever.
Trying to see if nothing's going on in the chat, guys. Fire your comments, questions. We'll get things mentioned here on the air.
I told you guys from the get-go, I am not sweating nothing. Nope. I'm not letting myself get all stressed out. I'm not letting myself freak out about things. No.
All right.
No, because I let that happen in the SFL, and because I let my emotions get to me, and because what happened and shit that went down, I quit something that I actually was having fun at, and I'm not going to let myself do that ever again. So I'm not freaking out, and and I've talked to Alan, and Alan knows. To me, it's a game. This is just a game. It's a game. It's a hobby. We're here to have fun. It's not life or death. I'm not getting paid for this shit. If I was getting paid, you'd see a way other different side of me. But I'm not getting paid. I'm doing this just to have fun because I like talking to Alan, working on stuff. I like talking to other guys, talking about stuff. I like doing this. I'm just having fun.
Right.
So it's no, I'm not going to let my blood pressure go through the roof like I had in the past. I'm just not doing it no more. So, and I hope Jax brings it again next week against us, because like I said, I think from top to bottom, I don't care what team it is, anybody can beat anybody, and I think this entirely is just going to be completely nuts from here on out. Because I think teams are going to start making little changes here and there. I think teams are going to do this, do that, and it's going to change the whole complexion of what this league is. Because I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Somebody's going to go on a roll. One of these teams that are on a roll now are just it's going to happen. They're going to fall on their face, because it happens in real sports across the world. It happens. This isn't Madden. I know all those guys that love Madden, because I like Madden too. But at the same time, you can see how things are going to go. This is a little different, because I think they got this right when they made this game. If you do things right, things will change. Where Madden, you can pretty much predict what's going to happen every damn time it happens.
Right. Well,
but that's just my take on all that.
All right. Well,
but yeah, I'm glad for Jax. Like I said, he went out there and he said it. He said, "No more play time. Time to get serious." And look what he did. This everybody said he was nuts. You're crazy. You're never gonna. No way. Not against Baltimore.
Right.
What do you do?
Yeah.
And even the owner of Baltimore said, "Where the hell? How is this team under? How did they not won? How is this possible?"
Right.
And then Jax had to tell him, "I screwed around for 3 weeks. Guess what? I'm done screwing around. So now people got to worry about Tampa Bay. And then we'll go to Boston. Boston's got a new offense coordinator now. And of course everybody's going to say, "Oh, Marcus never done this." That don't mean nothing.
Right.
Bo Davis has never been a coach, never been an owner until now. And look what he does with that defense in Boston. If Marcus can get that bronze offense going, there's another team everybody's going to have to worry about.
Yep.
I'm telling you, from top to bottom, it is scary what this league's going to be like.
Yeah.
And I can tell you there's leagues across, all over the place that are watching us now going, "Damn, why can't we do this?" I mean, it's plain and simple. Because in all those other leagues, there's teams that are on the top all the time, and then there's the bottom teams. And that's just how it is all the time. Go back and look at, any Mad League, any of this league, whatever. You look here, and honestly, you can't say that. And I know people say, "Oh, it's your first year," but still, our first year from top to bottom, if you look at it, everybody's going to go, "Oh my God, if they do this and they do that here in the next couple, it could be over for these, or they could." And then on the flip side, if they do this, they do that, oh my, they could go on a roll. That's what I said. The next how many weeks we got left is going to be completely nuts. And I can't wait to watch everything unfold and see how it all plays out. Because whoever gets to that very first championship, in my opinion, will have earned it. And nobody in their right mind can say, "Oh, they didn't earn it." There's no way. Because I think everybody is going to have to earn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so yeah, like I said, I can't wait.
And if you look at the standings, the way they are right now, Arizona's 1, Baltimore and Tokyo are 2 and 3, and New York is 4 at 2 and 2. Meaning the entire league is one game out of making the playoffs if it were right now.
Right. So that's just it. I know guys were saying, "Oh, if this team loses one more game, they're out." No. There's 14 games in this season. I'm telling you. This is a marathon. This ain't a sprint, gentlemen. This is a marathon. This is going to be, I can't wait. And honestly, what I want to see is, you already said it, week 7 is the trade deadline. How many teams in the next couple of weeks are going to start going, "I need this, I need this. Come on, let's go. Trade. Because I got a feeling it's going to happen. I really do.
It may. You got pieces you can fill, little things you can find holes. Maybe you can fill them. Like I know Tampa Bay was looking to fish one of their gold tight ends away. That I saw was out there.
Yes, they were.
They didn't make that move yet. They've ended up trading a silver fullback instead. So we'll see. But moving on to these games, the 2 and 2 New York Cobras, they go on the road to the 1 and 3 Boston Liberty. So Marcus Bose, his first game as an offensive coordinator, will get to take on his uncle and Taco.
That's going to be crazy.
And I just want to touch on the fact that these two teams, they did meet in the preseason, if you remember. Cobras did beat them 38-22, put up over 500 yards of offense. But Boston did have 300 yards on offense. But the storyline that came out of that game is the same storyline we see today after week 4, and that is if Boston can have some serious offense, how good are they going to be? Because they did pick off King Cannon 8 times in that game. And from week 1, from preseason to week 4, their agenda and their game plan and their goals is pretty much where it was in the preseason. They gun the rock, they throw it all over the field. Can Boston do the same thing defensively, and can the new offensive coordinator, Marcus Bose, be the difference?
Well, I'm going to say this because I have all kinds of vested interest in this game. because, Bo, family friend, everything. My son Drew is the gold wide receiver for New York. I'll say, I've said it. How many games now I've been in there? Throw it to number 82. Throw the ball to 82. New York, I'm going to tell you something. Don't throw the ball to 82 this week because he's being covered by a gold corner. Throw it somewhere else. Because if you throw it to him this week, guess what? Interception.
I got to go check the stats. I want to see just how many interceptions Boston is getting game by game by game, because 5 interceptions today against the team.
Really? Was it 5? Really?
Yes. 5 interceptions today against a team that doesn't sling the ball as much as New York. So when the way New York's slinging it, that's many more opportunities to take the ball away.
I agree. But at the same time, we all knew coming into this, that's what New York was built to do.
Yes. 4 wide receivers.
They went with 4 wide receivers. They went, that's what they went with.
Right.
Boston defensively they went to stop the pass because that's how it's built.
Right. This is the perfect matchup for their Bills offense against the defense.
Oh, it's going to be crazy.
And now it's going to come down, does Mark Chisholm do his job on defense, or does Marcus Bose do his job on offense? Because that's the battle.
I honestly, I can't wait to see what Marcus and Bose Bo comes up with. Yeah, Marcus and Bose, yeah. But what Marcus and Bo come up with on offense, it should be. It's going to be interesting. We all know what Chisholm can do. There's no question there. Right. But I'm going to say it, and everybody's going to say the same thing, because even New York's own quarterback has been saying it week in and week out. They have to eliminate the interceptions. And so far, they're not doing that.
Right.
And like I said, I don't know what it is. I can't put I don't know. I've been trying to figure it out because I watch their games, and I watch their games intently. I pay attention to what they do, and I don't know. I don't know, like I said, if it's the abilities. I don't know if it's the plays. I don't know if I just don't know. I'm sure everybody's saying the same thing right now. They're trying to figure it out too, because you just can't. That's what I love, and that's what I hate about this game.
I don't even think they know what it is yet.
Yeah, you think you got to figure it out, and then all of a sudden you don't. And then when you know you have it figured out, that's when that damn AI throws a wrench into everything and goes, nope, we don't care what you're doing. We're doing this. Because I honestly, truly believe, because you and I have talked how many times about this, that the AI in certain situations freaks out. Because we've seen it. Where you're down by a certain amount of points, and just because and maybe because there's not enough time on the clock, it's run instead of pass, or vice versa. This and that. It's just weird what the AI does, and I'm sure everybody in this league and other leagues have been so frustrated with this. And at the same time, it's fair to be frustrated, but you have to look at it and go, damn, there's nothing I can do. I put my plays in, and all I have to do is hope that the AI runs it right. If they don't, all you can do is say, oh, shit. And you have to live with it. And that's what sucks, because we're not the ones controlling it. We're not pushing the buttons. We're not doing this. If, we were the guys pushing the buttons, then, I can understand guys getting on people. Oh, Mike, why would you do that? Stupid. Yeah, but we're not. So in this league, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. But that's what makes it great.
Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying the reading here of what's being said in the chat. We have that controversy again between New York and New York and Philly. Davis is making the statement of the 3 interceptions, and they got away with murder because of 2 field goals. And Thomas Goodhart is saying you're looking at it one way. Had New York not thrown 3 turnovers, they'd have put up more points. And he says NY legit got away with murder twice this season. But yet that one way could have put points on the board. And Goodhart says, or that one other way means more NY points without the turnovers, which is true. You know, if they hit the field goal, they win. You know, Philly hits those 2 field goals, they win. But I also agree with Goodhart. They don't turn the ball over 3 times. They're probably putting more points on the board.
Like I said, I already said that too. I see both sides of it. But like I said, that's what the beauty of this game is. All pro is. Well, you set it up, and you say, "Here you go, AI. Please run it right," and then you never know. It's a freaking crapshoot most of the time.
And he says you got to expect turnovers. I look at it this way: you got to expect turnovers, you got to expect penalties, you got to expect injuries, and you got to expect missed field goals. They're all part of the game. You know, and I look at it this way, and this is no shot at Philadelphia. You missed field goals. At the end of the day, you don't want to be missing and or making field goals. You want to be putting that ball across the pylon. You know, and Philly, when NY says they throw the ball, 60 times a game? Yeah, when you're throwing the ball that many times, you're going to get picked off. There's no question about it.
Oh, yeah.
But to New York's credit, they throw the ball a bazillion times a game, throw the ball to the other team more times than they should, but keep finding ways to win.
Yeah, and to piggyback there, what you said about them not wanting to get field goals, I know that. I know that feeling well, being a Browns fan, because a few years ago, that's all we did. We bust our ass, drive down the field, get there, and field goal. Drive down the field, field goal. Field goals don't help you win. Believe me, that's so. So I feel I understand what Chris is going through there in Philly. You know, getting hell yeah. Well, his statement I was there as a Browns fan.
He just said,
sucks.
He said, points are points at the end of the day. Touchdowns or field goals, those points are crucial. Allen says we had just 1 IT against Arizona and had 3 and still lost. At the end of the day, field goals are field goals, touchdowns are touchdowns. Absolutely 100% right. But in New York's case, they've been throwing interceptions, letting you get a field goal, then coming back and scoring a touchdown. So they're going +4 in that rotation.
Right.
And that's what's been helping them win these games. Now they're 2-2. They're 2-2. So clearly it's also hurt them. You know, so we'll see what's going forward. You know, and that's why I said New York, they're at Boston. And I'm going to put the over-under right now, and I want to see what the chat has to say because we got a few active people in there. The over-under, I'm going to put it at 4. And that's the interceptions that New York will throw in this game. Over-under is 4. Do you guys think they're going to throw under 4 or over 4 interceptions, or even this week against Boston?
I'm going over.
I mean,
just due to the simple fact. Just due to the simple fact, you know, like Chris said, they throw, 6 zillion times a game. So you're going to get picked off, and you might get picked off a lot.
Yeah, it's very possible.
Very possible. But I'm sure New York knew that going in there because that's how they set it all up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if they went in there going, "Hey, we can do that," and didn't think about the interceptions, then that's on them. But if they went in there going, we're going to throw it, and we know we're going to get intercepted. But at the same time, I bet you they didn't think they were going to get intercepted quite as much as they've done in some of these games.
Right. Yeah, I want to get guys real quick to put your put your power rankings in. So if you're an owner or a coach, you especially get them in as soon as you can. So we're going to get those done. But moving on from New York, Boston, another game that we got will be across the pond in Japan, if you will, as the Philadelphia Flight, who come in 1-3, will take on the 3-1 Tokyo Kitsune.
I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I without a doubt believe the Flight are a good defense.
Yes. Well, and now they have Silver fullback. So now Tokyo has to go, what do we do now? Will he use it? Won't he use it? Is it just a smoke screen? He has to be on the team, and I mean, there's you never know.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting as far as this goes. I'm just on the edge of my seat with this one.
Yeah, it's. I can't wait to see what happens.
It's going to be an exciting game as far as I'm concerned. And that being stated, I got to ask you, we saw them, and it was mentioned by Goodhart during the game that this is the pound and ground team in the flight. How ironic that a team called Flight is living and dying by the run as opposed to a pass. I think that's good stuff right there. But that being said, they added the fullback. They bring in the fullback. If you watch the game this week, this is the one thing that's getting lost in the field goal turnover situation. To me, the big storyline should have been Duncan Northrup. Duncan Northrup, to me, is the biggest storyline in that game because when you watch that game, that guy gets exhausted carrying the ball 85 times.
Won't argue with you there.
You bring in that fullback, he's going to take reps away from Northrup, and the fullback, if used effectively, is very dangerous. I know it firsthand personally because I do it in a personal league that I do here at home with friends and family, where I use a gold fullback. My gold fullback averages over 200 yards a game because you got to use him right, you got to use him effective. Now, how effective can a silver be compared to what I use with a gold? I don't know. But one thing I can guarantee is if you use him properly enough, he's going to take some of them carries away from Northrup and keep him fresh, which will then in turn keep him dangerous.
Oh, I agree. I kind of liking this because, like you said, if he uses him right, he could take some carries, but at the same time, you use that guy as a blocker, and he's blowing up the hole first, and then that running back of theirs comes flying through the hole. Holy crap. It definitely changes that team.
Yeah. I believe it changes it greatly.
Because
the question is he going to use him right?
Yeah, because I think you and I are on the same page where if you use what you know will work in real life in this game, 9 out of 10 times it works. I've noticed that. If you're gonna try to do the Madden thing and play the Madden in this league or in this game, it doesn't work. It's just not quite the same. You got to actually play real football. So, how many teams back in the day? Because I'm an old school guy. I've been a Big Ten.
Yeah. I don't know where Ed went. We just lost him. I don't know if he knocked his microphone out or what. Ed, where'd you go? Edward, did you knock your microphone out? I have no idea what happened. We'll see if we can get him back in. It's just all technical difficulties all day around the IFL. I have no idea what's going on. And technical difficulties during the games this week, technical difficulties now. Oh, man. I guess that's what happens when you're the Dollar Tree brand. So, bear with us as we try to get this straightened out. Ed might have to leave the room completely and come back in. I don't know. Not exactly sure what happened to him. Trying to figure it out. No, he's still there. Don't know, ladies and gentlemen. Trying to figure it out. All right, just touching on some stuff. Alan likes Tokyo. He says, watch for David Lee to lead in tackles. Mighty says the deep outs are going to get picked, and I know that's in reference to the Cobras. They run them deep outs against Boston. Alan believes that New York wins by 13, and apparently I'm supposed to sing. No, Alan, I'm not going to sing. What the hell? Why would I? Why would I sing? Is what I want to know. That's different. Okay. Well, Ed, if you can hear me, leave the window, return back to the window, and we'll get you back on the air. Since you have the link, you have the ability to do that. And just for while we wait, the pick'em for week 5 is up, ladies and gentlemen. All the games have been posted. You can get in there and pick your pick'em a while. I'll be getting to the game of the week here in just a minute. Hopefully, while we wait. Yes, Ed just left. Well, he'll be returning in a moment, I'm assuming. So we'll get the vote for the week 5 game of the week up here momentarily. Oh, phone is ringing, ladies and gentlemen. And it's Ed. Let me answer it. Yes, Edward. His internet took a shit, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea what he's talking about. Did you give it toilet paper? The fans want to know. No. No?
Yeah, I was talking to you, and then it just everything went. And then Dwayne hollered, "Hey, Daddy, there's something wrong." And then he got kicked out, and now all the lights on my tower for my internet is just they're all blinking, going nuts. So
the internet has gone down. Well, Ed's internet has taken a shit.
Sorry about that. That's weird. You're gonna have to. All right, I'm going to have to get off here because I have a 10-year-old who's about to lose it because we have nothing now. All the lights on my box for my internet they're all completely out now.
It's all right. Then you do what you need to do, and I'll hold down the fort.
All right, sorry about that.
It's all good.
All right, man.
All right, man.
Everybody later.
Yep.
Right.
Well, there you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Ed's computer took a shit, but that's okay. It's all right. So we're gonna keep pressing on here. I know Alex wants to get in on this, so we'll figure out how we get Alex here, and we'll just go that route. Let me close this window here. All right. Anyway, where was I? Yes, Philadelphia and Tokyo was where we were at before the booting came, and we were talking about the fullback and things of that nature. And Tokyo has just been consistent with their 31 straight plus points per game average, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous and absolutely absurd. They just keep putting up points, and somehow we just saw Allen's ugly mug.
Now you can see my dramas. I've got to figure this out.
Allen's just, wow. Very loud there, Allen. Allen has joined us. Alex, I've sent you the link to get in on this call since you want to join us. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
What?
Turn that damn camera off.
There's Alex.
I see there's Alex. Oh, boy. Oh, my gosh.
When you're ready, Alex, your bath is.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the absurd images we're seeing right now. We apologize if there's any young kids viewing right now. Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord. Forgive me, I just ate.
I'm trying to figure out why the hell you're wiggling your eyebrows at everybody. I don't understand what's going on right now.
I wish my camera would do this good on YouTube video. It's like perfect.
First thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have hit the what the hell's going on portion of Inside the IFL.
First thing
Oh,
first,
man.
what did you guys think of my commentary today?
I honestly was very impressed. There was some dead air here and there. I know you had to argue with Mom and whatnot, and we're told not to be shushing people. But outside of those things, I give you props, brother. I give you props.
There. Now you don't have to see it.
Hey,
You get to see the losing team of the Arizona Outlaws now.
you mean Carolina Pack?
The losing team of the Outlaws Pack game now.
Gotcha. All right. Well, let's get to where I was at. Philadelphia at Tokyo. Ed and I were talking about how the fullback addition added to Philadelphia puts them probably in a different level. We'll have to see how they use it. Tokyo has been a very consistent scoring team. I believe their defense is, to some degrees, a little suspect, not greatly suspect. And the main reason why I say it is they have given up quite a bit of points compared to some other teams. If you go look at week 1, they gave up 33 to a loss to New York. They've now run off 3 straight victories. In those 3 victories, they gave up 23 to the Pack. The Pack is 1-3. Last week, Tokyo, they gave up 24 points to the Stallions, who had not found any offensive footing coming into that game. Let's face it, the Stallions had lost 13-0 in week 2 to the Flight to come back and get 24 points. And then Tokyo gave up 10 points to Boston, which has been the team that's struggled the most to find the end zone. So it makes you wonder just how good the defense truly, honestly is.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you there.
we're going to find out coming into this game. I think this is a very interesting matchup. I believe Philadelphia will get overlooked by most. I think they have a shot here. The question is, how much can they put into this game to win? Because their defense is pretty damn good, Philadelphia. Can they stop that 31-point-plus streak that Tokyo's got going on?
I just do not. To tell you if I could evaluate this trade, I believe Tampa Bay actually won this trade with ease. I believe they've seen that they needed help on the defensive side of the ball, and I'll tell you the truth, I really like silver linebackers. That silver outside linebacker they got in that trade, I believe Tampa Bay stole this trade easily.
I agree.
Philadelphia. I've had experiences with silver fullbacks. I mean, to tell you the truth, my number one option was to be a run first team, and I knew coming into this league that I was not able to do that. Even though I'm more of a sim guy and I love to run the ball, you can ask TJ or anybody from the CAG league. I used to run the ball like crazy. For some reason, the fullbacks in this game to me, I just don't like it. But I have used it in halfback formations and all that, where you can create a power back without the hex editor. I have done a silver fullback in a halfback position, and it's worked very well. So he's going to have to come up with the right calls, and hopefully he can get some blocking rings for Norcup, and that can help improve the Philadelphia offense.
It may. It very well may.
But my intake I've had before, I just don't like the silver fullback. But I believe Tampa Bay is going to be a deadly team. And to tell you the truth, I might have to really extra prepare over that trade they just made.
Yeah.
For Jax, he's for real now. They've just defeated a Baltimore team that, they don't lose too often. TJ don't. And for them to beat TJ and Mighty RX, job well done, guys. Congrats. I got to tip my hat off to Jack Diamond. He really showed everybody he's for real. And with that trade, I believe that team is on the rise. And we got to really prepare for him next week.
It's going to be an interesting matchup. But touching on the game where I have a discussion here, Philadelphia and Tokyo. Who do you guys feel is the favorite going into this game? and I don't want to say Tokyo just because they're the 3-1 team. I want to give the Flight a little bit of credit here because I think they are, without a doubt, one of the better defenses we got coming into this game. So they need to get their just due and their credit. So what do we think?
I'm going to have to say Tokyo based on the power they've been showing for the past few weeks. Even though the adjustments I don't know how many adjustments he's made or whatever, but his game plan has been shown for real. I mean, I played both of these two teams, and to tell you be honest, that's when I first made huge adjustments after playing Tokyo. Tokyo is a very tough team to prepare for, especially David Lee. David Lee is one of the best defensive guys in the league, and Philadelphia, they're just having a week to prepare with a silver fullback, and they're going to have to really have hours and maybe a couple weeks to get adjusted to the new offense, and losing a silver linebacker could hurt their defense even more. And we all know James Dubsett has been on fire.
Totally agree.
Yes.
So that's my reason I'm picking Tokyo.
Between Dubsett and Mr. Dower, our two smallest quarterbacks.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, who knows? I don't know if he was actually lying or not, but Dubsett was caught in New York catching a ball. So maybe he scouted Philadelphia pretty well, so that could help too.
All right. Well, I'm going to get on to the fourth and final game that's coming up this week. And we got the 4-0 Arizona Outlaws traveling to the 3-1 Baltimore Bulls.
I'll give Alex the first take. Go ahead, Alex.
Arizona wins this one. They're just too good.
Damn.
I honestly think with the way that offense is, even though their X factor is gone and Doug Bose.
Well, he'll be back this week.
What?
He'll be back this week. Remember, in the IFL, we don't carry over injuries.
Oh, that's right. I honestly think containing Doug Bose is going to be a huge key for I think getting Doug Bose going is going to be a huge key for Arizona. If they can't get him going, they're going to be stuck like a tractor in mud.
Damn.
Mm-hmm. People are going to actually freak out who I'm about to pick, but I am going to have to give you a logical reason why. I actually got Baltimore winning this game. And I'm going to say this. I believe maybe Baltimore wanted to, they don't have a star tight end, so I approached them with a trade-off for one of the wide receivers. A rejectful no. I believe the groundwork has been made for a team to beat Arizona. As you see, Mario Savage had 3 interceptions today. Carolina Pack, if they would have had just one more, they could have won the game. 2-point conversion attempt was no good. The game could have went to overtime. And I believe Baltimore is going to go to the film room this weekend, and they're going to come out with a very, very good game plan against Arizona. And Baltimore, I know TJ a lot. I've known him for almost 3 years now. Well, maybe even more than 3 years, might be 4 years. But I know TJ and the way he runs Sim football. I've known him since the summer of 2010 football.
Well, he's ready for the bath.
And he will get the game prepared against Arizona. And Mighty RX, him too. He's known this game very good. He knows his defense. They gave up a lot of points in that week 1, and they have not done that all year since week 1. And I believe Arizona, I believe Baltimore's going to be well prepared for this game. And I like Baltimore in a very close game.
Same.
A minute ago, you liked Arizona.
Actually, I like Arizona in a close game just because of Doug Bose being the X factor.
I think the X factor for Arizona is Hootie Koo, the tight end.
Why?
The last 2 weeks, Hootie Koo has been really showing up in the games, and they've been utilizing him in the last 2 games. And most teams don't cover tight ends like they do the second the receivers and stuff. So I think that's been opening up Hootie Koo in the offense.
I agree with that, but you got to realize Mario Savage has been turning the ball over a lot the past.
Well, and like you said, turning the ball over a lot. That's why they're going to have to avoid Charlie Monk, because Charlie Monk's been an absolute monster
Exactly.
for Boston. Or I'm sorry, Baltimore.
Shoot me.
If Baltimore can prove that this past week's game, maybe as a wake-up call for Baltimore.
Go, guys. I got to take a bath.
Okay, buddy.
All right. But
See ya.
if Baltimore can show that what they've shown in the past of playing sim football, I know TJ for a fact he's going to daggum have that playbook adjusted. And to be honest, I really love Baltimore in an upset.
Is it really an upset? 2 solid teams. I don't know if it's
yes, because of the loss to Tampa Bay. But it wouldn't be a major upset like it would be over Tampa Bay over Baltimore this week. But you could call it a minor upset, not a major upset.
gotcha. Yeah, I think it's a great game. Really great.
Baltimore does not want to fall to 3-2 with Tokyo possibly overtaking them for second place either.
Right.
So we could be looking at a 3-way tie for first place if Baltimore can pull off this week. Tokyo would beat Philadelphia.
Right. Makes sense. I got you. Trying to catch up with any comments going on.
I can't see him now.
Last one was my meatloaf by Mighty RX, and that was over 10 minutes ago. So not much comments as far as what else is going on.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's 4 solid games next week, and I think these 4 games next week, because of who's playing who, is going to tell us a lot about the league and that who's what, who's where. Because like I stated, in the standings, here's the standings. The Arizona Outlaws are number 1 at 4-0. Win or lose next week, they're still number 1.
Mm-hmm.
They'll still be number 1.
A 3-way tie or solid first place of their own.
Right. Baltimore's 3-1. Tokyo's 3-1. Obviously, if Arizona loses, Baltimore goes to 4-1 with them. And as we mentioned, Tokyo's taking on Philadelphia, which isn't exactly an easy victory. The Cobras are 2-2. Now they're that middle team. And then you have the Boston Liberty, the Carolina Pack, the Philadelphia Flight, and the Tampa Bay Stallions. 4 teams sitting at 1-3, and all 4 of those teams, despite being 1-3, are technically 1 game out of the playoff picture as of right now, which is insane when you think about it.
Right.
When you see who's playing who, see who's playing who this week, like I said, you take Carolina, they're Tampa Bay. One of those teams is falling to 1-4.
But one of those teams are also on to 2-3, and depending on the New York results, they're just going to be a game back of the playoff spot. One of those teams next week will either be tied with New York, or they will be only a game back. So I believe
they both want Arizona to lose. That's the way I look at it. If Arizona wins, and whichever one of these teams lose, they are 4 games out of first place. 4 games out of first place with only 9 games left. I don't see that being able to be caught up because Arizona is just too good to lose that many games.
Right. And maybe one of these teams can make a run. If you really look at, just because I'm the owner of the pack, no excuses for us losing whatsoever. But if you see who we've lost to, of all them teams, those combined records, all of them teams have only lost a combined 2 games. And if you look at the schedule, I'm not going to say it's favorable because it showed today that anybody can beat anyone.
Mhm.
If you look at Carolina, for instance, I'm not doing this because we could lose the next 3 games. I'm not lying. I mean, I'm not joking. But if you look at the next 3 games compared to the last 4, Carolina could be making a 3-game run trip compared to the strength of schedule. They have Boston, Tampa Bay, and New York back to back to back. With Tampa.
Well, I want to ask you this. Well, let's take a look at Tampa Bay for 1 second.
Mhm.
Yes or no? Yes or no? In your opinion, is this the real Tampa Bay, or did they just get lucky today?
Beyond it could be a question mark. I really like the move of them getting rid of the fullback. I believe that's going to help them. But Jack Stammen, he could also be making a move for get rid of one of them gold fullback. I mean, one of them gold tight ends. So right now it's very questionable, but I will say this: they are definitely not the worst team in my opinion right now.
Well, I'll add this then to the parade because this is why I'm asking. Because we are 4 weeks in, we got 3 weeks left till we hit midway point of the season. Arizona, they're 4-0, and this is what I want to touch on with Arizona being 4-0. They played Flight. The Flight's 1-3. Okay, so a lot of people are like, oh, that was a who cares win. They beat the Boston Liberty. Boston Liberty's also 1-3. It's another oh boy who cares victory. They beat the 2-2 Cobras. And then today they beat another 1-3 team. The toughest team they beat record-wise is 2-2. Their remaining 3 games in the first half of the season are as follows: at Baltimore, week 6 they're at Tokyo, and then in week 7 they're on the road again at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, who's 1-3 now, like I said, whether they're legit or not as of now, they still have 2 more weeks to make even more adjustments that by the time they come to week 7, they could be a legit, real dangerous team if what we saw today means they're not. So that's what I'm saying with Arizona. We're going to find out who Arizona really is.
I agree with that.
Taking a look at Baltimore, who's 3-1, who a lot of people thought some people thought they were the best team in the league coming into this week. So Baltimore is 3-1. Baltimore's got that Arizona team, like we said this week. Then Baltimore's on the road against Philadelphia. And Chris can't stop saying it enough. They're better than the record shows. Adding the fullback, I think, improves them. That's why I thought this trade was a win-win for both teams, especially if Philadelphia uses the fullback properly. And then in week 7, Baltimore is home against Tokyo. And now, speaking of Tokyo this week is against the Philadelphia Flight. Next week, Tokyo's got Arizona, and then they got Baltimore. So Baltimore, Tokyo, and Arizona, who are right now the cream of the crop in this league, they're hitting the real tough stretch in all 3 of their schedules.
Agreed. And one of these teams are going to be separated from the rest of the league. And right now, my early favorite has to be Tokyo. Tokyo has showed themselves. I mean, I always love to count out week 1. I always love to do that. If you look at the past 3 weeks, the way they played a very good, better than the record proves, Carolina Pack team. And they defeat, I don't care if the team's 1-3 whatsoever. They just mowed down and blew out Tampa Bay and Boston. If they keep on doing this, and I don't know what adjustments he's making, and if you look at like last week, Marcus is going to really have to show his confidence and has to get that Bronze offense started. Last week, he carried for 16 carries for 16 yards against Tokyo. That defense is for real. And if you look at it, last week, he was negative 2 yards on passing. Marcus is going to really have to show with the Boston team. So Philadelphia is going to have to really prove on the run this week if they're going to beat, in my opinion, highly favored Tokyo.
And I'm going to be on the flip side for Tokyo here. I'll play the other side of the coin. As you said, you'd like to throw out week 1. Okay, well, you throw out week 1 where they lose 33-31 to the Cobra, a 2-2 team. Remember this. It's a 2-2 team that they lose to. In week 2, they come back with a 31-23 victory over a 1-3 team.
Mm-hmm.
In a game that honestly could have gone both ways. In week 3, like you said, blowout victory of Tampa Bay, and now a blowout victory of Boston. Depending on who you talk to coming into this week, those were the 2 weakest teams this league had to offer.
Right.
But they should get blowout victories. So the flip side of your coin, they blow out 2 teams they're supposed to blow out, and then they struggle with one team, almost lose, struggle with the other team, and lose. How dominant of a team are they really, or is it a benefit of the schedule? Because, like I said, the top teams in this league are Baltimore and Arizona. They have not played either one of them yet, and they also get the Flight, who now are really – the Flight – here's the thing I'll say about the Flight, and I got to emphasize this with the Flight. The Flight scored 13 points in week 1. That touchdown that they got was in garbage time. In week 2, the Flight only put up 13 points. Now, that was a victory. So they put up 26 points in the first 2 weeks of the season. They made catastrophic changes in a way to go to week 3 and still could only put up 14 points. So 13, 13, and 14. And then last week, the Flight finally gets some more offense going and gets to 24 points. Okay? They get to 24 points this week and a loss. Philadelphia Flight is really finding their offense now. And as you saw this week, pound the rock with Northrop. Pound the rock with Northrop. The poor guy got exhausted, and it came back to haunt him. And I'll say it again. Ignore the interceptions. Ignore the missed field goals. Northrop getting tired killed Philadelphia more than anything, and now they add a fullback. To me, that is gold for them.
I agree with that. I will agree with that, and here's the reason why. If you take it back to the Pack Outlaw game, Clapper was running his hind end off on that first drive. They could have went up 7-0 instead of 3-0. Clapper got tired, and Jason Candidate came in the relief, and that's where the Outlaws were able to hold us to a field goal. And if you look at that, if they do, they're going to have to get Frost involved this week, and he's going to have to really get the good fullback plays. He cannot just use him for a blocker this week. He's going to have to get some carries where Northrop cannot be that tired. I do it for real, but also Tokyo's looking their chops now. Dubset sees no silver out linebacker. So this could be a risky move for Philadelphia on their defensive side of the ball, but also this could help the running attack.
Right.
So it could be a two-way street this week. And also Philadelphia, their gold tackle, David Cox. I've talked to Pooh and Chris Davis, and he's been very disappointed with his top star player this year.
Right.
He's going to have to find him a way to get involved. So there's a lot of mysteries going into this game.
Oh, yeah. And here's the best part. 4 weeks in, we're just 4 weeks in, and I don't think we know who each team is just yet.
Right.
I think once we get done with these next 2-3 weeks, we're halfway through the season. I think we'll finally separate the men from the girls, and we'll figure out who are the teams to beat, who are the teams that are pretty much guaranteed to make the playoffs, who's sniffing, which teams. It's back to the drawing board. But it's been a fun 4 weeks. I can't thank everybody enough who's come in and joined this and been a part of this.
It's been very fun. Even though I'm 1-3 right now, I'm having a blast.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that this is my creation, that this is my baby, if you will. I have never had this much fun doing anything of this sort, and I've done video game leagues before with other things, not just football. I've done wrestling and other things, but this is by far the most fun I've ever had.
Right. Countless hours of basically not getting paid for nothing, and you seem to have. So, can I ask you a question, Doug? Which one's more fun, being a office type role or being an owner?
I'd rather be an owner. I'd rather own a team. It kills me every week to sit down and watch games and enjoy them and realize I'm not in control of any. I would much rather say, you know what? Let me own a team who wants to run the damn league. I would do that in a heartbeat, to be quite honest.
I would trade. To be honest, I've always wanted a leadership role. To be more honest, so I could trade with you if I had the resources.
Yeah, I mean, I'm jealous of all the guys who have teams. I'm jealous of all the guys who are coaching. I can't even have a coaching role because I'm the one who plugs in the playbooks.
I
So
will say this: I've learned my lesson. It is stressful, but I'm enjoying it. I mean, to be honest, I will say this: even though Ed, is not being less stressful, I will be honest. I've been stressful the past 4 weeks. I always think, like, how am I going to prepare for this team? What can I do to, like, after the game's over, I always go into the next week. And that's what's more fun, I'd say, more than the other league. You have less time to prepare. And you've got to constantly, during the weekend, you've got to constantly think what you're going to do for the next week.
yeah. Well, as we close in on pretty much an hour and a half here on this show, I don't want to be on here too long. I got to head out the door in about 2 hours for work.
Right.
Don't know if anybody in the chat room has any other final thoughts, opinions, things they want me to mention here.
I do want to mention one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead while we see if anybody has anything to say in the chat.
Okay, I do want to mention we are brought to you by the Relocation Football League. They're running a Madden type. I'm not a big Madden fan, but his commentary is very amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not running like us, and he's gave us numerous shout-outs. I just want to give a shout-out to Deshaun Smith. He has joined the draft next season. And you to be part of his little what you call league, you don't be an owner or coach or player or a coach. What you have to do is create a guy from NCAA 14 and put him in the draft and gets to get drafted. So he's been giving us a major shout out. I just want to give Deshaun Smith, aka Smitty, a big shout out for sponsoring us.
Right, and to touch on that, to give him and the RFL a look, it's relocationfootballleague.com. You can go on there right now and check that out and see what they have going on. And they have that section there, like you were saying, where you can, get drafted. Schedule in there. They have the teams in their league. And to touch on it, like you said, they're using Madden, and they relocated teams from Madden to the movable cities, and they selected one of the team names for those movable cities. And they have a bunch of stuff going on, and it's high tech graphics. And this is one thing I said to Ed. I said, Jesus, I said, look at the graphics that they have compared to what we've got, because we're using a 10-year-old game.
Right.
And Ed kind of chuckled. He said, but hey, we're having fun. And they're using
and I will say this also. As many of y'all know, I am not a Madden fan. This guy actually makes Madden look good, actually. By his creation, he's a younger man, way younger than me. I think he's around 20 or so. But Deshaun has showed a lot of great heart, and he is really dedicated to his heart and just wanted people to support him. And I started talking to him Thursday night after his broadcast, because I promised him I would come to his broadcast. And he stopped by our live room yesterday, and I believe it's going to be a great thing for the league and get more members with partnerships like these guys. We're not here for competition. We're here to support each other. Even though some people disagree with that. But these sim leagues shouldn't be competition. We're just here to have fun. It's a daily hobby, what we're doing, and let's continue that.
Right. It's going to be fun.
Any more things else to say, Doug?
No, the only thing I can tell everybody is the pick'em is up. You can go pick who you think is going to win each game right now. The voting for game 5 of the week is up. I think I did write game 4 when I posted, so I'm going to go in there and give that a quick edit, make that say week 5. I need power rankings. I mean, quite honestly.
I'll copy and paste them. I already sent them the daggum Ramos.
I mean, we got 8 owners, and one of the requirements next season is going to be you're going to be required as an owner to post your picks.
And if anybody is willing to, like I said, it's on me. Doug, you think you should announce on this also?
What's that?
Your new statistician.
No, you're out me with stats.
Exactly, and I'm actually got me a brand new 150 sheet paper, so I will have those for you tonight.
And speaking of stats, I want to apologize to Lee because I didn't get the stats updated from last week yet. I did some. You provided some. Poor Jack sent me stats, and I lost his, and he ended up throwing his away. So I got to go back and grab those. The one owner who took the time to send me his team stats was Jack's. So I appreciated that. And then I lost them. But in any case, because I clean up my messages sometimes because it gets too overwhelming. But anyway, going to the ER and whatnot and other health issues that I had this week, I got behind on some things, and stats happened to be one of them. After carefully thinking about how I can do stats to make things easier, I've come up with a much cleaner, easier, quicker way to do the stats. I will run that by you when I talk to you later or tomorrow, whenever I get to you, and how we can do it.
All right.
And I think it's going to go really smooth and really quick that way. So I have to get last week's added. I got to get this week's added and get those stats up sooner than later. It just eats away at me that I'm behind.
All right. Well, just give me a holler after the broadcast, and I will know because I'm planning on writing it tonight.
I couldn't help it. I honestly couldn't help it, just for the simple fact, like I said, my personal health issues. But I like to be a perfectionist. If I say IFL choose greatness, I want to make sure I'm great on a personal level. Because without a shadow of a doubt, I think we have the greatest video game league on the planet. Just for the simple fact of what we do, what we provide, how we do it, the options and things, the creativity that we come up with, the new ideas. Like I said, the diamond in the rough idea is probably going to be added to the rules next season. I was presented with a protection agency idea. I'll throw a quick comments on that. We don't need to even get into discussion with it, but for those listening, you can hear it, think about it, give me some ideas. I had somebody tell me with teams using defensive linemen more than ever, what if we allowed teams to use 3 abilities on linemen as an offensive lineman for free, not to be held against the salary cap? So you get to use 3 abilities to spread out between the 5 players. If you want to put 1 on one guy, 2 on another, fine. 1 on 3 different guys, fine. All 3 on one guy, that would be fine. I personally think putting abilities on an offensive lineman don't mean shit anyway, but to each their own. My thing is, I listened to all ideas that came in. I found it to be an interesting idea. It's just to help protect the quarterback. I kind of laughed and said, we're the NFL now. We're protecting our quarterbacks. But like I said, I throw out every idea that gets mentioned to me because I think they're worth experimenting with, exploring, discussing, and getting everybody's opinion on. And, and these are things that we'll take to quote-unquote owners' meetings in the off season. So if you have ideas, you have fun thinking of different things, you think of things. Like I said, the diamond in the rough idea, I think, is a solid idea where you can add that extra hidden ability or 2 to a guy that no one knows he's going to have it, because every team in real life gets that diamond in the rough guy you didn't see coming out of the woodwork. To me, that's almost a yes, let's do it one. This protection thing, I'm not 100% sold on it, but I'm not going to throw it away either. So if you're listening or you hear this later and you have ideas, share them, because I'm listening to them. I'm not going to play let's worry about this season game and we'll worry about that. No. The more I think about things now, the more opportunities we have as a staff, a league, owners, and players to analyze everything. Because right now, somebody can make a case for this protection idea, and everybody's like, yeah, that sounds good. Let's do it. But 3 weeks from now, someone might say, you know what? This is why it sucks. And then everybody can change their mind. But if we wait until the off season, we don't have as much time to really analyze the ideas. So that's why I want to get them all out there.
And I also want to throw out this too. This week has been way less drama. Let's keep it that way. We're supposed to be a drama-free free league. Let's keep it that way. I know we've been having hackers and all that. We all know about that.
Well, the drama
So-
came to us.
Drama came to us, but last week we had a little interference. But I believe we're back on track this week.
I left drama, or was kicked out of drama, and then drama followed us. And that's what I can just sit back and smile and say, you know what? My crew of people I've put together has ignored drama, didn't want to be a part of drama, hasn't created drama. But drama from another drama land showed up, and some of my guys just ignored it. Then this past week or last week, somebody finally had enough and snapped. And I'm going to post something. Speaking of that drama, I got to post this right now. I've been meaning to do it. So I'm going to be posting something on the everyday chat right now. Whoever you are, don't hide. Just tell me who the hell you were because I need to talk to you.
Oh, Lordy. Drama queens, drama queens.
Uh-huh.
What are we going to have next? Drama kings? Kings and queens. But whoever the daggum clown is, I don't know if you're doing it to just scare the league off or whatever. Just keep your stuff over there. Enjoy your league over there. We're enjoying ours. We're not here to conquer y'all or whatever. Even though the feelings are sometimes not agreed upon. Let's just enjoy each other's league, and at the end of the day, just stay over there. Did I say that one right?
I think so.
We're here to just have fun and run our stuff. Do we even have any more broadcasters? Any more comments?
I'm looking now. I just had to post that.
Mm-hmm.
Mighty says part of the strategy is how you use your call and build your roster, and that's in reference to the protection plan and things like that. But I will say what I wrote on here. It says this week during our game of the week, we had another support cam sighting. Support cam's the jackass that's been showing up, just starting drama. Whoever he is, I have no freaking clue. He talks shit about the IFL, supporting the SFL, whatever. Following him being banned, the real Cameron Irvine showed up thanking the league for banning him, explaining that none of us need the childish drama. 100% agree. So I'm asking which one of you from the IFL informed the real Cam that this support Cam jackass guy had shown his face again for him to be aware that this was going on. I just want to know who let Cam know that it was taking place again. So whoever you were, send me a message or even reply to the chat. It don't matter to me. Let me know. Because, like I said, I had no idea how Cam even knew it was happening. And then all boom, there he was. I was like, whoa, okay. No big deal.
Yeah. I have my intake who I believe who it is, but I want to keep it hush.
Yeah. To who it is, to who it isn't, I really don't care. But I agreed with Cam's statement. We don't need the childish bullshit. It's just dumb. And it's just some jackass starting drama. And, I wish I could find out who it was. And then, like I said, they had their drama in their stuff where somebody created a support Doug and was talking shit the opposite way. And it's like, to me, it's probably the same jackass doing both roles. And I have no idea. But I don't know how banning works on YouTube. But I hope when you ban a guy, bans him completely, the URL and everything.
Well, what I've noticed, I've got my own account, and, I've got over 60 subscribers, surprisingly. Most I've ever had. You can just block a user and they can no longer comment.
Right. Yeah, my point is you can have more than one YouTube account. So you could use yourself and then create this fake stupid account and do something stupid. That's the thing that drives me insane.
Yeah, but they do it on dating sites and all that, so there's no way to stop it. Just people just ignore it.
Yeah. Well, as we head in on 8 o'clock and I got an hour and a half to prepare for work and do the things I need to do. I want to thank you guys for chiming in, you and Alex, when Ed lost all power or whatever was going on at his house. Everybody who's been here listening to the show. Congrats to all the winners this weekend. To those who
to those who came up short, back to the drawing board. Better luck next week. Vote for the game of the week as soon as you can. Vote on the pick'em. Get that done. Send in your power rankings. Monday, Ed and I will be on the air with Inside the IFL again as we will announce the schedule, who's playing who, when, at what times. We'll go over who's the favorites in each game. I'll announce the power rankings because last week I refused to announce the power rankings during Inside the IFL just to see if anyone took notice. And Alan,
I'm the only one that told you about it.
like, wow, Alan's the only one who mentioned it. And that's the thing. If we don't want to do the power rankings, that's fine. It drives me insane.
They're fun.
It drives me insane that we do it. It's a cool thing that the community can be a part of, and nobody seems to be stepping up, sending in their votes.
I think it should be required. All owners should be sending their power rankings before Monday evening.
The most owners that I've gotten in 1 week is 3.
Only 3 owners send it every week,
and I get about 15 submitters each week, and I only get about 3 owners. I'm thinking, Jesus, we have.
How many did you get last week besides mine?
Well, I won't say who isn't sending in votes because that's unfair to the owners. But
I'm not saying how many people overall besides me sent them last week.
13.
Let them be. Whoever you get.
Right. And by the way, I've mentioned it a couple times on Slack. It doesn't matter why I'm asking. I'm not even going to mention why I'm asking because I'm just, having fun with the curious comment. Who's interested in being an owner here in the IFL? Let me know. And the main reason why I'm asking, why I might as well say it, is because when this season ends, you don't know who is going to stay and who isn't. Some of these owners might not want to be owners anymore. Some of these owners might not want to be in this league anymore. You don't know if an opportunity is going to present itself.
Exactly. I'm getting 30 years old and be working. Who knows? I might not be here next season.
Activity is important. Activity is important. And when I say activity, okay, that means slack to me. I'll make this perfectly clear right now. I do not give a shit about game viewership. I don't care. If the game is going on and you can't make it, okay, I don't care. Watch it on your time. But when I say activity, I'm talking be a part of our Slack communication. Be involved in Slack. Talk. Be a part of the community. Show up and do things. Be a part of the pick'em. Be a part of the power rankings. Be a part of the game of the week voting. I'm staying to the ground who's being the most active because, like I said, if a guy walks away from being an owner and the team becomes available and 5 guys put their name in and 1 guy's never been available for nothing ever, your name's probably going to be thrown out right away. I'm not even going to listen to it. But because you've applied, I'll mention you to all the other owners when they vote. But the guy who's been showing up for everything, talking about everything, I'm going to do nothing but push him and push him and push him onto the other owners. This is the guy we want, and this is why. And you explain to me why we shouldn't do this guy. The
way I do my re-signing period, I'm going to be judging it on who's been showing up or not.
Yeah.
And that's how I run my show. Even though I'm not going to mention any names, but currently there's some guys that's not showed up, and I'm not going to say who live on the air, but I believe Doug already knows this. You might be surprised who's going to be a free agent for the Pack this season.
I mean, I'm happy with our activity as a whole in the league. There's weeks where it's like, geez, I can't keep up. And then there's other weeks where you think the whole league just closed. We're that inactive. But as a whole, I'm very pleased with everything. I just want to see a little bit more activity as far as everything goes, get things rocking and rolling. But as we close, like I said, as we close in on 8 o'clock here, I'm going to get off here because I'm going to have to go eat some dinner, grab a shower, prepare to leave for work. Do what I got to do. And like I said, I'll get in touch with you about how I think power rankings are going to work on a much easier, crisper formula. And I think you still have last week's stats, which will be huge.
If you need me to go back and get you Tokyo from last week, I can, since I got paper now.
I may need that, but
yeah, I can just copy and paste because I don't delete messages.
Yeah, I'll get in touch with you on everything then. I think it's going to allow stats to pop off much easier. If everything goes well, I should be able to put stats up before the end of the weekend because I'll try to do the stat thing on Sundays. Might be my goal, or no later than Monday afternoon. But then that always depends.
If you can get hold of me in a little bit, then I can get them done tonight.
Yeah, and with your sleep schedule, that's another thing. You seem to sleep when I'm awake, and you're awake when I go to work.
Well, I can get them ready for you tonight, and you'll have them ready in the morning.
So, but that's the thing. When I do the stats, my formula is going to require us to be in communication, and I'll explain later.
Why don't I start doing something? Why don't I don't just email you the stats instead of?
I don't want it. You didn't follow me. For me to do the stats in a clean, crisp way, the way I'm thinking, it's going to require me to be talking to you. And like I said, I'll explain later.
Okay.
But yeah. All right. As I said, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks to everybody who's been involved in the show today. Tuned in. The guys who will check the playback. Week 4 is in the books. We close in on week 5. And just to give everybody one more, quick take on the standings, the Arizona Outlaws are 4-0. Baltimore Bulls are 3-1 with the Tokyo Kitsune. In 4th place is the New York Cobras at 2-2. If playoffs started today, those would be the teams. The Boston Liberty, Carolina Pack, Philadelphia Flight, and Tampa Bay Stallions all sit at 1-3. So it's anybody's guess who's going to move up, who's going to move down. The league is entirely wide open after 4 weeks as we head into week 5. So good luck to everybody next week. Remember, get the vote in. Who's the game of the week? Get the vote in. Your pick 'em. Get your power rankings in. Playbooks are due by the end of Monday night. And for Ed, who we lost, Alex, who joined us, and Alan, who's still with me, everybody's been here. It's Doug Bose. This has been Inside the IFL, and we'll be catching you again Monday afternoon when we get on here with the next episode. Later.
Peace.